You'll love that one. All right, and for the last one, this series, it's all about California dreaming. You gotta love that. Can you tell us about All American?
I may be a little bit biased because this new season is coming out tomorrow, which is my birthday.
Oh, okay. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. I love this series so much. All American is coming to CW. This is the 8th and final season. So we're bidding farewell here, but the show, if you watch it, you know it has followed a group of high school teens and athletes who are now all grown up, navigating real-world problems. What's really cool about this season, and I can't wait to watch it, is that it takes place during one single life-altering week.
Oh, wow.
And so we're seeing the culmination of all of these friendships and drama that they've had over the last 8 years really come to a close. So I can't wait to see how they're going to close out this chapter.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff to watch. I think I'm going to pick the horror one, all right?
Are you really?
Yeah, I need something to keep me up.
You already aren't sleeping at night. You really want to stay up with that one?
I might as well just keep it rolling.
Might as well. Why not?
Yeah, Anya Lachelle, cannot thank you enough.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Great to see you again.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. All right, we'll do it again next week.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. All right, Lin-Manuel Miranda is the musical mastermind behind the new live-action Moana, and our Lindsay Davis sat down with the award-winning writer, composer, and actor for the latest All Access. All of that just to talk about what audience can expect from the new version of the beloved modern classic and the new song he wrote for the film.
So you wrote a new song for the live-action Moana along the way. Is that something that you run by your boys first, just to see?
Yeah. My wife and my kids are the beta testers of everything I write before.
They're the focus group.
Yeah, and my wife's superpower is that she's a logic monster. She was a scientist, now she's an attorney, and she just asks the logical question. She's like, well, why did they repeat that? And I go, well, it's the second chorus. What are you talking about? Why did they repeat that? But it's the reason Hamilton moves as fast as it does. It's because I'm trying to keep my wife entertained. Like the songs, she has to like them before they leave the drafts folder. And now it's my kids. You know, they were humming We Don't Talk About Bruno years before anybody else. If I catch Frankie, who is very musical, humming one of the tunes, like when I heard him being like, you're on your way, you're on the ocean, while he was like getting himself milk, I was like, okay, we're good. We're gonna be fine. The funny conversation is the like kind of NDA for tots conversation I have to have, where it's like, you can't sing this song until the movie comes out. You can hum it, but you can't sing the words. Because, yeah, so that's been really funny. And I remember when I was writing along the way, Frankie came home, he goes, Daddy, it was so hard not to sing it today.
Oh, that's so
It was in my head all day. So that's when I know I'm cooking with gas.
Lindsay Davis, thank you. And of course, Disney is the parent company of ABC News. Don't miss the latest All Access with Lin-Manuel Miranda right here on ABC News Live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'm Micah Johnson. Thanks for streaming with us. The news never stops. ABC News Live Weekend continues next.
Coming up here on ABC News Live Weekend, keeping the past alive by reenacting it. As we mark 250 years of our nation, we meet those bringing our complicated history to life to teach the next generation. Plus, an unlikely friendship. In a world so often defined by borders, labels, and conflict, we bring you a touching story of two women from different religions and opposite sides of the world who form an unexpected bond. And our Deborah Roberts gets some beach time with Dwayne Johnson in Hawaii. How jealous are we? Talking about Moana and what the movie means to him. ABC News Live starts right now. Hi everyone, and thank you so much for streaming with us. I'm Morgan Norwood, and welcome into ABC News Live Weekend. Let's take a look at some of your top headlines. The death toll from Venezuela's massive twin earthquakes is rising, and officials say at least 3,800 people are confirmed dead. Many of those victims remain unidentified and are being buried in mass graves. The country is relying almost entirely on foreign aid, and many areas are still without power, water, or food. A new groundbreaking medication in the fight against cancer is giving patients new hope. The drug, called daraxonrasib, is a once-daily oral pill that works by blocking a protein that helps cancer cells grow. According to recent clinical trials, the pill appears to double overall survival in patients with advanced pancreatic cancer compared with chemotherapy. And Tilly Norwood is stepping into a leading role. No relation, by the way. The company behind the AI-generated actress has announced its full-length AI feature film is finally in the works. Tilly's creator described the movie, titled Misaligned, as a comedy drama telling a coming-of-age story infused with existential AI chaos. It is being billed as a hybrid production with both human film and TV professionals directing, writing, and editing the project alongside AI specialists. As we continue to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, we head to Boston. The city was the site of the spark of the rebellion, from the Boston Tea Party to Paul Revere's ride. But behind these extraordinary stories were everyday people fighting for a new democracy. Our Jay O'Brien takes us through history by following the very footsteps of our country's founders.
To the front! March!
These men are getting ready to start a revolution. Marching with the Minutemen. We haven't traveled back in time. These are reenactors who dedicated their lives to bringing the moments that shaped this country to life.
Close to the front.
We met in the exact spot of the famous first shots of the Revolutionary War. Lexington and Concord, just outside Boston. This is where America was first forged in fire, where Massachusetts militiamen received an order they'd never heard before to shoot back at the Redcoats. And the colonists, you see it there, are ordered to return fire, and that order, those are the first shots of the revolution. An act of defiance that would change history, what Ralph Waldo Emerson dubbed the shot heard round the world.
July 4, 1776 happens because of this.
Park Ranger Bob Marchetta now carries out the legacy of those Revolutionary Minutemen. Serving 24 years in the Army, his old unit can trace its roots back to this battlefield.
And if you can put yourself in those footsteps of the people that were physically here, the power of place.
There is a special meaning.
There's a special meaning to it.
A historic responsibility they take seriously here too, Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia.
Do you know what this is?
Where we found 7-year-old Josephine Goodrich deep in conversation with the Marquis de Lafayette.
We can look at a map.
Real name, Mark Schneider, who works here as what's called a historical interpreter.
Is it fun to be here?
Josephine's parents, Elizabeth and Riley, drove 8 hours from Kentucky to Williamsburg with their 4 daughters just for this moment.
I think that it's really important for the kids to be able to envision and remember what life used to be like and how that makes us who we are today.
A feeling I've had before. That's me, at 5 years old, a budding history nerd who begged my parents to drive 9 hours from Connecticut to Colonial Williamsburg as a birthday present.
Hi.
Back as an adult, it's the attention to detail here that jumps out the most and transports you from 2026 to 1776. Reenactors and historical interpreters will tell you it's sometimes easier discussing the most uncomfortable issues of our current time with someone pretending to live 250 years ago. We met Catherine Pittman right before she was set to go out on stage as Martha Washington, taking hard audience questions on everything from the role women played in founding the nation to the people enslaved by this nation's first family.
Martha Washington was a slave?
She was. But if I can talk about it with honesty and openness, and a guest can get as uncomfortable as I am when I research it, then I've had an effect on you. You know, the mission statement of our foundation is that the future may learn from the past. And so we have the past, we got it. But if those children sitting out amongst us can find just something to remember when they're 4 or 9 years old, and
you
say,
can change the future.
You can change the future.
Your descendants.
Stephen Seals has had long, deep conversations with guests about race while portraying James Lafayette.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
A man born into slavery who won his freedom as a spy for the Continental Army. What is it like for you to portray and uplift the voice of a black person living in 18th century America?
It is the most important thing I've ever done in my life, and the most fulfilling. I get to see every single time I do an audience just how much people are not changed, but just how much people shift to widen their understanding.
We are here in Williamsburg.
But does the next generation care enough to carry on the American story? The answer might be in my hometown, Wethersfield, Connecticut, a community founded in 1634, older than America itself. We're here to meet the 23 young people in the Colonel John Chester Fife and Drum Corps.
I feel like I'm traveling back in time, especially in uniform.
That you're traveling back in time. But it's the music that really transforms this school parking lot into what feels like an 18th century military camp.
I think that getting to learn history through the aspect of music is so special. Fife was my first instrument. It's not just like a normal instrument that you learn in school. The fife has been along for such a long time.
17-year-old Zoe, 19-year-old Kai, and 9-year-old Jacob practiced the same instruments and the same marches used by George Washington's army.
These songs, some of them were used as commands on the battlefield.
Before we left, the Corps had one more surprise for us, the national anthem. Each note a reminder that our history is human, and it's on all of us to keep it alive. Good. From those firing muskets in the rain, to the men and women spending an extra moment in the Virginia summer sun, to these kids playing in uniform as the sun sets on a school night.
Court dismissed.
Just so incredible. Our many thanks to Jay for that. But coming up here on ABC News Live Weekend, two women from different religions and opposite sides of the world forming an unlikely bond. How this friendship came to be when we come back.
Skyscanner searches billions of prices from all our favorite travel sites in one place.
Streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Welcome back to ABC News Live Weekend. In a world so often defined by borders, labels, and conflict, two women from different religions and opposite sides of the world have formed an unlikely bond. Their story is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful bridge between people is simple. It takes an understanding and a willingness to see another's humanity to cross the distance. Our Lindsay Davis has her story.
Let me add olive oil first. Okay. My mom, she's telling me we need like until here.
Okay. Your mom knows best.
Baking is simple. You take separate ingredients, mix them together.
I need to add more flour, definitely.
Yeah, definitely more flour.
Okay. And ultimately something better rises after prolonged heat.
I think this is good. So we're gonna put it here.
That's the story of Carol and Rania, a young Palestinian woman teaching an old family recipe, a Jewish grandmother eager to learn every step.
I love to be taught. Rania's taught me many things. It's the first time she's taught me cooking.
The recipe is called manaish.
We can put it in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
A simple bread Rania grew up eating in Gaza.
It's a brunch and a breakfast. And we actually eat this a lot in the war. And it's healthy, cheap, and tastes good.
18-year-old Rania knows what it means to survive on very little. She grew up in Gaza. In 2023, after Israel unleashed its military power onto Gaza in the wake of October 7th, Rania and her family felt they had no choice but to leave their home and their livelihoods. Her dad was an engineer for the UN, her mom a lawyer. And so under the rubble and the sound of bombs, they managed to do what so many were unable to. They got out of Gaza. They eventually made their way to Saudi Arabia, where one of Rania's sisters lives.
What did you take with you? What we could put in our pockets. Besides my home key and my grandmother's home key that I took from Gaza. I have nothing there.
That key now serves as a memory of her home in Gaza that once stood tall. But in Saudi Arabia, far from the explosions, another loss awaited, the loss of a future. As a refugee, she could not attend school.
They were like, you're a refugee and wait until Allah will come for you and will solve your problem. And I told him, wait until when? Until your government gonna issue a law? I really need to go to school. I already lost 1 year in the war and I couldn't give up.
So she sent a message into the world, a plea for help, to Gershon Baskin, a former hostage negotiator and peace activist who also has a large social media following.
I texted him this message. I am stranded in Saudi Arabia. I'm the youngest. And all of my siblings already finished like high school and everything. And I'm stuck, I need help. And then he saw my message and then he posted on his account.
Thousands of miles away in New Jersey, someone saw it. Someone she likely never expected. A Jewish educator named Carol.
And I had been, for a long time, just asking the universe for something to do to help people from Gaza. The first person I reached out to was Chris Downs, who is the head of admissions at Woodstock Academy. And Chris said, we have a program for displaced students, and we have a scholarship fund for displaced students. I think we might be able to admit them.
Rania and her parents eventually made their way to the United States, and with Carol's help, Rania was able to attend the Woodstock Academy in Connecticut. A new country, new language, a new life.
My school was really, really supportive place for me. They welcomed me, they allowed me to share my culture.
How much English could you speak before you got to Woodstock?
I wouldn't understand what the person talked to me. I think Carol will tell you how much overwhelmed I was in the beginning. That I was thinking that I am not that brave enough. I knew that I experienced hard things in my life, but I didn't know that I would go over this culture shock. Every time I'm feeling this culture shock, I was like, better than going back on a war.
And slowly, the girl who arrived carrying loss began to build something new, a future, a community, a voice, one powerful enough to receive a standing ovation after she was chosen to give a speech at her high school graduation.
In Palestinian culture, storytelling is not just something we enjoy. It's something we grew up on as children to help us understand what's the world look like. I invite you to tell your stories and use your voice, not just for yourself, but for everyone whose voice are not here.
When you look at this blossoming seed right here sitting next to you. What's your reaction to seeing it? Perhaps you've changed Rania's life.
She's also changed my life.
How so?
Most people don't even cross that line. And so it's me and Rania, but it's a bigger thing. Like you're like my sister, my friend.
Does it have sugar?
The sugar.
Oh, it's so sweet.
At a time when war has hardened opinions and fault lines between Palestinians, Israelis, and Jews around the world, their friendship offers something increasingly rare: the willingness to see the humanity in someone else's story. Prior to meeting Carol, what kinds of interactions had you had with Jewish people?
We had no Jewish people in Gaza, none. But thankfully, my family was open-minded. My family really wants to learn. Inside myself, I knew that everyone is different. I can't judge a religion or I can't judge a thought,
For Carol, her outspoken support for Rania and the Palestinian people has caused rifts within her own community.
People were just, saying really cruel and unkind things. Once you really feel in your own body like we're all people, that feeling doesn't go away.
And so you have no regrets?
No. I'm a much, much more courageous person than before October 7th.
It wasn't even a year ago when you started looking at colleges.
This fall, Rania will attend Smith College, where she plans to study genetic engineering. A Palestinian refugee and a Jewish American grandmother, bound not by politics, but by something stronger: compassion.
The power of friendship. Our many thanks to Lindsay for that. But coming up here on ABC News Live Weekend, the story of the Queen of Country is now heading to Broadway. We have the details on the new musical about Queen Dolly Parton's life. Also ahead, our Deborah Roberts sits down with actor Dwayne Johnson about returning as Maui in the new live-action film Moana.
Naomi loves the sound of earning and saving money on Vinted. Don't wear it, sell it.